É o XRL no beat.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another HD Reach Game Over HD live stream. Tonight, I am loud tonight. That's what I am. Tonight will be the last story time that I will be hosting. And for the finale, drum roll please. Somebody put a drum roll sound in here. I've got Erik with me. Erik, can you hear me?
Oh, hi.
There we go. There we go. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Ready to get in here and play some Minecraft with you and hear about your story. Because actually, we met in Prague at the HDYO International Conference. And we actually got to have dinner together, but we didn't really get to chat a whole lot about our stories, so I'm really interested to hear from you today.
Thanks. I'm really excited to be here.
And real quick before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on here and being willing to tell your story. This is something that we all need to acknowledge as a big step for anyone, regardless of how many times they've told their story. This is something that can be very personal for someone, and for them to come on here and share with all of you how they are impacted by Huntington's disease is no small feat. So please just everybody take a second to acknowledge that. Let me get this audio. There we go. I saw you flying around my screen. Are you already in here?
Yeah, I've been trying to find you.
Oh, you flew
Minecraft
right past
in
me.
5 years.
I saw you.
So,
I'm
really
at
new.
oh, there you are. All right. So, who said don't let me have pets? H with the moves. Yeah, that intro gets me going every time. Everybody turn away from the screen for just a second Did that cow just say no?
Oh, that's criminal.
Whoa, don't side with chat.
I can't see the chat right now. So.
Well, Erik, you've been traveling the world recently, right?
Yeah, I was in Costa Rica for the last 3 weeks. The first half of it was a school trip. So I'm just finishing chemical engineering in undergrad at the University of Calgary. So I had a
Wow.
pretty good grad trip. I got to stay with one of the other HDYO ambassadors, Juan Carlos. So if you guys
Hey,
want to ever
shout out Juan Carlos.
stay in the mountains of Costa Rica, join HDYO. That's my plug. We have a global friendships.
For sure, for sure. Speaking of HDYO, let's just get the general question out of the way. How are you connected to HD Huntington's disease?
Yeah, my connection's through my dad. I guess my grandma also. So she tested positive like over 30 years ago, maybe before I was born. But she's in the gray area. So my dad and his brothers didn't really know what like if HD would be in the family. And then my dad tested positive nearly 10 years ago. I was in thanks for the treat. I was in grade 9 at the time. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, so he tested positive and now I'm living at risk. And I'm
Okay.
22.
So I guess your family found out about HD through your grandma. Is that what you said?
Yeah, she had a family history of it, so I think it was her dad they knew had HD, or like they suspected it. But she was one of the first people in Canada to be tested, like when genetic testing was available.
Wow.
So yeah, it was something like doctors told her family about, but she didn't really know. But she kind of got started and helped with like founding the Canadian Huntington Society with my grandpa, and then yeah, it's just always kind of been something we've been around.
That is that is an awesome story. Being able to be a part of like the founding of such a crucial organization.
Yeah, it's nice having like such support in the family too, because especially when I was younger, you don't really know how to process things like that, and I honestly still don't. But it helps a lot when like your whole family is kind of there and everybody's on the same page.
But it also sounds like they're like really engaged with it too. Not, a lot of times we hear people that they find out about HD and then it's sort of like kept a secret. But it definitely sounds like your family was very active in trying to find community or solutions or help other people.
Yeah, it's really nice having that, like them as role models in that way. They're really supportive whenever I want to be doing more with HD or coming on things like this. And like I send a text to my family, I'm like, hey guys, I might be talking about you, but is that okay? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. Like, what, we can't make it, we'll watch the recording. And it just
Oh,
makes
that's
it really
awesome.
easy to, yeah, just get involved and help others that don't necessarily have that supportive environment around them, or just have other obstacles in their way.
Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Typically, we start these story times off with an explanation of HD. Eric, I'm going to put you on the spot. Would you mind just giving a short explanation of HD?
Yeah, so HD is called Huntington's disease. It's a genetic neurodegenerative disease. Um, so it's mainly affecting the mind, movement, and your moods. So some common symptoms look like somebody's walking drunkenly, or they have like sudden mood bursts. And uh, so it's genetic, so it's autosomal dominant, which means like my dad has it, and then if you remember the Punnett squares from biology in high school, that means I have a 50% chance of inheriting the disease. It's uncurable. There are some treatments to reduce symptoms, but no cure right now. And I don't know if I missed anything. Let me know. But
No, that was pretty spot on.
oh, the typical age of onset's somewhere like 35 to 50. But it's a really big spectrum. Sometimes you see age of onset like a lot younger, and that's called juvenile Huntington's disease. And sometimes it's not even in that person's life that you see symptoms, but it gets passed on to their kids. So
Thank you for that. Really appreciate that.
yeah,
Well said too.
thanks.
So you were talking about your family and their involvement with Huntington's disease. What is that noise? Do you hear that? It's
I
like
don't
a
hear any
It was like a
noise.
ringing. Sorry about that. You were talking about your family and their involvement with HD organizations, and you are very involved with HD organizations and events. Can you talk about how getting involved has helped you?
Yeah, so I first learned about HD kind of in the start of high school, and in Canada, many countries, you can't get tested for it until you're 18. So um, I was like, okay, well, I'll just ignore it, and it really eats at you after a while, or at least for me, it did. I didn't really like talk to anybody. My family's like super supportive. Um, they would have definitely had those conversations with me, but I just
Sure.
didn't know how to start them. And so I moved to university when I was 18, and then when I was, I guess, my first real involvement was during COVID. Um, I, was going kind of stir crazy, and I was like, I need something to do. HD has been like really eating at me. I got into a lot of bad habits in high school, and then I was like, okay, well, I like running at this point. Can't really do anything else because it's COVID. So it's like, yeah, I'll run a marathon and fundraise for HD. That kind of kicks two birds with one stone. I don't go crazy, and I get to give back to something and kind of start to take that power away from HD. and then since then it's just spiraled, like getting involved with HDYO as one of the youth ambassadors. Try to volunteer a lot with the local chapter in Calgary. I think for me, getting involved has it's just made me feel less alone. I wouldn't say like if HD is like a sharp knife sometimes, getting involved is kind of like dulling the knife. Like, you know, it's still there, it's still a thing, but it's less painful. I'm able to better handle it and process it. And yeah, I think also when you get to see people that you meet and you build that community, it helps you a lot, but it also, like, getting to see other people, I guess empowered would be the word, is really rewarding in itself.
Yeah, we actually had somebody in chat just say, man, that's wild that HD's in Canada too. So, you know, just helping spread awareness that it is, and then Jenna's actually in the chat. So, Jenna said HD, she said it's global, and then HD has no borders.
Very true.
Yeah, and then going back to what you were saying about feeling empowered by, you know, seeing other people who are impacted and then making their own strides. You said something earlier about when you were fundraising for HD through running a marathon, and you said it sort of helped take the, I don't want to misquote you, but you said sort of helps take the power away. Yeah, I like that. That's a good way to put it, because it does sometimes feel like it has this intangible power over us.
Yeah, I think especially, at least speaking for me, when you're young, you don't have any experience like dealing with hard emotions or anything. Like, the hardest thing I dealt with at that point in my life was like my crush didn't like me back, and I was really torn about that.
Yeah.
So, I like, those are kind of the skills that are, you know, you can build them in any way, but I've definitely been able to apply those in my life and help other people, you know, friends dealing with school stress and other things like that. It's just,
have you always been able to openly talk about HD in your story? And if not, how did you learn how to talk about it?
No, definitely not. I think it's like any other skill. Like, if you want to learn how to juggle, you gotta start with one ball and then two. And I think it can be a really daunting thing whenever you're trying to start something like that. So for me, like, I hardly even talked to like my brother about that stuff in high school. And when I moved to university, I got a girlfriend right away, and then it took me nearly like 6 months for me to even tell her about it. Like, I really wanted to, I was just scared or just wasn't really sure what she would say. But yeah, I think having somebody that was really, really supportive and I knew wouldn't think of me any differently helped a lot. So I told her everything I could, and then yeah, I just started, like, I had another close friend and they were curious about it because I started fundraising and posting about it. So I got to like share my story with somebody else, and then I joined H2IO and everything just kind of blew up, and I was like, oh yeah, this is just like, you know, this is my average, what is today, Tuesday? Yeah, it's just like, it's still like, I think that nervousness doesn't really go away, but you just get better at dealing with it.
Yeah. No, I like that. I think you're spot on about that too. Of like, it doesn't really go away as far as, you know, the hesitancy, but we learn the skills and the coping mechanisms to be able to process it and talk about it in a more natural way, and it comes with time. And it's not, especially coming from somebody like you that sort of has at least for me, has the reputation of being open and confident about it. It's nice to hear that it wasn't always easy, because that, you know, sometimes from outside looking in, it sort of seems like people have it all figured out as far as knowing how to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's still some days where, like, whether I'm having a bad day or whatever the circumstance is, but like I'll still bawl just talking about it or like thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like my girlfriend's just like, "Oh, are you okay? Like I thought, I thought you got over this." Like, no, it doesn't really go away. You just get like you build better skills dealing with it.
I like that too, because you're right. It's never really getting over it. It's not gone.
Mm.
But you're right. Developing better skills and knowing how to. Oh.
Everything okay?
Nope. Don't go down there.
What'd you do?
Don't worry about it.
I don't even want to ask how you did that. I'm just trying to build a barn, man. I'm just trying to live my farm life.
It just sort of started flowing out, and then it burned the sheep. So you did mention your brother a little bit earlier.
Yep.
What does your communication look like around HD with your sibling now?
Now, I'd say I'm definitely nervous about it. He's like one of the most chilled people I know. So he's always really open about it. I'd say I really like that he's willing to come with me to a lot of HD events. It helped make it a lot easier. Like when we first got the call about the first HDYO Congress, I was like, I don't know, like I've done HD events and stuff, but this is different. And he had the same feeling. So I feel like it's kind of been like we both grow at our own paces, but we're able to support each other a lot and stuff like that. And I'd say if there's ever anything like that we need to talk about, I think it was harder early on because I didn't want to like break the peace. Like our dad's still going to work and he's really healthy, but the worry doesn't really go away of like, okay, what's it going to look like down the road? Or, what about other family members or even like our futures and family planning? And like you're still thinking about it, even if you're not like actively, I don't know, doing anything. So it was really hard at the start. And I don't know, at some point, like I feel like I just had to jump into it. And I was like, hey, like, what are you thinking about? It's kind of like, you can't see me, my camera's not on, but like that meme where people like put their pointer fingers together. It's like, hey, do you want to talk about HD? And he was like, yeah, like, I've been thinking all the same things. And I was like, you have? Why didn't you say anything? Like, what's going on? Yeah, like, it's kind of a cliche, but like, if you're having a problem, the odds are that somebody else in a similar situation to you's also having that problem. So
Yeah.
I'm
Are
also
y'all
very lucky that we're close.
Yeah, for sure.
We can do that.
Are y'all both involved in the same kind of ways, or are you more heavily involved?
I'd say, like, in terms of organizational things, I'm more involved. Like, I'm an HDYO ambassador, and I think for him, like, I'm not really sure like why he hasn't wanted to get involved, but there's no pressure from anybody in our family or myself, and it's just like, hey, if you want to, that's fine. If you don't, that's also fine. Because for me, I think it helps a lot to like have, I don't know, to know that there's so many other people out there and to be able to contribute and give back. And um, he's still like he's very involved locally. Like we grew up in Manitoba. I'm not sure how many people or like where people are from on the stream, but that's the middle province in Canada. So I think if you say like picture Idaho, it's fairly similar maybe.
Mm.
I don't want to offend anybody by that, but
No, I
very
think you're
farm
fine.
heavy and rural. So like he still is very, very involved in like going with my parents and grandparents to the HD events down there, fundraising. Um, so yeah, I'd say like we're both involved, it's just in different ways.
Sure.
Yeah.
Um, has has HD impacted your relationship with your siblings at all, negatively or positively, whether that be now or previously?
Um, I think it's something that we can kind of grow together with. Um, from from what I've heard talking to other people in the community, like guy relationships can be tough just in general because typically they're a bit more like distant. You don't talk about feelings as much, and I think it's helped us get to the point where like because we talk about really heavy things with HD, I'm able to go to him with things and say like, "Hey, I'm looking at like grad school. I feel like my life is falling apart. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna go crazy." And then he's able to like understand me better because we've been having these conversations for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think we definitely have grown closer. We also get to go to like the Canadian Society has conference every 2 years. They do like a youth event every year as well. We go to the congresses with HDYO, so we get to travel a lot too, which is really fun because I never would have thought growing up that I'd be traveling internationally with my brother and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I think we kind of used it as like a nice way to grow together. It's something that I can't speak for him, but it kind of scares the crap out of me sometimes thinking about HD, and having him there really helps. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I feel like everybody can relate to that. Of it definitely is scary, and that comes and goes. Those feelings come and go for sure. Sometimes it's like, oh, it's all good, and then sometimes it hits you harder. But it's really nice to hear that you and your brother have developed a relationship that seems to be bonding over HD, even though it's not something that's innately positive. It's brought y'all closer, which has helped you form a probably one of the closest supports that you can possibly have,
yeah,
as
it's
far
really
as
it's really
someone that
nice.
understands.
I think it's also interesting seeing kind of how that relationship evolved because um, for a while we never really talked about it, and I was always wanting to talk about it. I just didn't know how. And then yeah, like you just bite the bullet, and we had the first conversation. Like floodgates kind of opened. Um, like there was even a time when we, being I want to preempt this with we're both young and naive because I would never recommend anybody to do this. But there was a time when we both really wanted to get tested together. And we're like,
Oh
oh, that's kind
wow.
of cool. Like we can, hold hands and walk through that fire together. Um, we really quickly realized that that wouldn't help us or I don't know, make it easier in any way because if whatever my result is, like I would also be worrying about his results
Hmm.
in the same way. And um, pretty much everywhere we turned, people were like I understand the idea, but please don't do that because it gets really messy if you were to do it like same time, same like have it all coordinated. So
Yeah.
I'm
No,
happy we did.
I totally agree with that. Yeah. I could also see how it could be tempting. I mean, I have, my sister and I are very close in age. Um, got tested at drastically different points. But knowing how close we are now, I could see how that could have been extremely appealing. And before really knowing.
Yeah, I'm really happy that we didn't, but I think we're both at the point where if either of us wanted to get tested or were ready to get tested, we would both be right there for the other person. Like,
That's great.
there's nothing but that feeling of support. So yeah.
If someone is watching this stream and feel that they are not ready to go all in about sharing their story, is that okay? It's a good question.
I think so, yeah. Like, I think it's really easy to see somebody, like, sitting here playing Minecraft and just talking about things to, really it feels like I'm talking to just age.
Yeah, right?
I'm just like, yeah, me and my friend talking about HD stuff. That's fine. I think life's a big journey, and everybody's at different points in their journey, and everybody's journey doesn't have to look the same either. Like, I don't know. Like, I know when I first got involved with HDYO, I think Riley was saying to me, like, oh, like, I just don't really want to get involved right now. And I was like, yeah, that's totally fine. Like, it's not like there's one way that your journey looks. Like, some people, for me, I think it helps. I think knowing that I'm able to, I guess, like, to do something with all of the struggles that I've gone through, and to be able to help other people, I like that. I mean, I know other people and they really like to fundraise, or there's other people that just, I don't know, it's just harder to talk about with their families, so they just try to focus on kind of one step at a time. I guess what I'm really trying to say is, you don't have to feel like your journey has to look any one certain way. It's kind of the fun part about it, and life in general is, it really is what you want to make out of it. I don't know if that was helpful at all, but
No, definitely.
so.
Sort of just, you don't have to follow any kind of societal pressure. You don't have to feel obligated because you see other people doing it. It's really on your own time, and as you become comfortable. And if that's never, that's fine. I would always encourage everybody to at least share your story with the people who are, your support, so that they understand what's going on and they can be there to support you the best way they can. But you by no means do you have to get on anything or any kind of platform, and openly talk about that story.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said.
In general, through your HD journey, how has your relationship with your family been?
They've always been really positive, or I guess, like, supportive. I think a lot of it was just, like, in that fear of, I didn't want to bring things up. I didn't want to be the first one to talk about things. I always knew that they would be supportive if I wanted to. I think it was just kind of like, how do I word this? It's like, if you have a record player and the music's playing and everybody's dancing, and nobody's really thinking about HD, but it's kind of creeping in the back of your head. I always, for a long time, I felt like I didn't want to be a jerk if I was the one to bring something up and stop the music and you get that record scratch.
Yeah.
And I'm really lucky because I remember the first time I came back home from university one time, and I just really curious about a lot of different aspects of HD, and kind of our family history with it. So I just started asking questions after dinner one time, and like my heart was hammering in my chest. It
Oh,
makes
I bet.
looking back at it, I'm like, that was, I can't explain it. I don't want to say it was silly, like my feelings are valid,
Yeah.
but um, it was, I think, weird now to think about, like, why was I getting so worked up over this thing, and um, everything worked out fine. Like now I'm at the point with my family where I can just like text them random things if I have questions about it, or I'm like, hey, can I, can I hop on Twitch with my friend tonight and just talk about things? Like, is there anything you guys don't want to talk about? And they're like, no, like feel free. Um, like we totally support you. This is something you like to do, and I think it was just getting over the hurdle with a
Sure.
lot of it, and I think also knowing like kind of the right ways to do it, because a lot of my fears around it were like, what if I came across too direct, or I was like, I was really emotional, and then whatever point I was trying to get across um, wasn't really getting across, and it just came across as more like accusing or anything like that. Like I never wanted my family to feel
Right. It was coming from a
bad
place of
that way.
curiosity and probably some understanding. But that's it's hard. It's a hard topic to try. Like you said, I really like the analogy of a record scratch because it is confronting a reality, and that can be really tough, especially with Huntington's disease.
Yeah, yeah. So it's nice. Like I wish I had any advice to give to people who maybe uh, like their family doesn't like to talk about it, or they didn't have a similar story to me. But I hope, I know for a fact there are people in the community who can be better spoken to that. So
Absolutely. Speaking of the community, what is an HDYO ambassador?
oh, what is, just straight up, what is
What is it?
your, so HDYO is a bigger charity. They're kind of like the international uh, HD charity or HD group. An HDYO ambassador would be like a volunteer for
Okay.
that group. Um,
What kind of
so
roles or responsibilities do you have with that?
that's the great thing about it. Like I've been in school for the last 5 years now. Oh my gosh. But so like my schedule varies day by day, and honestly like minute by minute. So sometimes like you get to go volunteer at the big conference in Prague, or like you're doing some um, they do a lot of social media work like YouTube and Instagram to help spread awareness, like for people affected by HD directly in their families, youth. But they also do a lot. I don't even know what you're, why are you bullying the cow? Wow.
Okay, that was an accident. The cow was in there when I started pouring the water, and I was like, "It's
That's great.
either is it still in there?"
um so yeah, like it's as much commitment as you want to make it, really. um yeah, sometimes I'm helping do, like, we call it an Instagram takeover. So I just make like a 1 minute video, I send it to um Jenna's our lovely person that kind of organizes all of us ambassadors. I don't know how many ambassadors there are exactly, but I would hazard a guess and say like there's about 150 kind of all across the world.
Wow. Okay.
Um, maybe somebody can correct me on that, but there's a lot is the point. And um, yeah, some days you're like feeling really good about it and you really want to help out. I know people that I've met at like the HDYO Congress in Prague, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I've been an HDYO ambassador for like 2 maybe 3 years. I'm like, I'm meeting you for the first time, but this is great because it's really just what people are ready for at the time. There's no commitment. I'm sure if I really wanted to, I could just kind of drop a lot of the work that I want to do and I'm doing there, and nobody would think any differently. Because it's just that level of support in the community.
I like that.
Yeah, I really like it. It's really nice to have that.
It seems like a no pressure kind of situation.
Yeah, it's nice to have that. Like, even if you're not actively engaging with it, like we have a group chat. Sometimes there's a lot of activity in it. Other times I mute it for an entire week because I have finals. And
Blue guy,
it's nice.
I see you in chat. I'm gonna try that out here in just a second. And thanks for saying something. Thanks for joining chat. Sorry, Eric.
No, it's all good. It's nice to have that support, even if you're not actively using it. Like, I think it makes it a lot easier to just, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but like deal with the weight of HD. Like, for me, it's always kind of touch and go would be the way I would describe it. Like, some days I feel like I'm feeling so good. Okay, like, I want to go run marathons and ultra marathons for HD, and I want to post on social media about it, and I want to make it like this really big thing in my life. And then I get like other weeks where the thought of HD like almost brings me to tears. And just having those people around you, like, I know everybody there is really supportive, and they would give a lot of their time and energy to help me if I ever needed any questions or anything like that. Like, there's so many people from different parts in their HD journey, so no matter what questions I have about HD, or honestly, like, I've talked to people just about like life advice, and it's nice to have this big, huge community.
I'm so sorry. My dog just threw up behind me.
Your dog threw up?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm gonna.
What's your dog's name?
Give me 1 second. This is Zoe. I'm gonna see if I can get my wife to come help me real quick.
So for everybody else on the in the chat, I can't see you. I'm not in the Twitch stream. You guys should get H to come check out the farm I'm building when he's back. I'm quite proud of it. I'm learning a lot about Minecraft right now. I haven't played for about 5 years. I learned there's zombie horses and skeleton horses. I'm really curious about all of these new mobs that weren't there when I last played. I don't know what a sniffer is, or a ravager. They sound aggressive, so I'm not going to plant them. I always dreamed of being a YouTuber when I was a kid. And I get to do it. So thank you.
Oh, the joys.
Oh, they just sent me the Twitch invite. Now I can talk to people, or now I can see people on Twitch.
I just got told to go look at your farm. Oh my.
This is the dream. My life is a constant balance between, do I keep doing engineering and want to, help society, or do I want to live on a farm and ignore the world? I don't think I would ignore the world, but
I don't know. Living on a farm would be pretty nice.
I think I could live on a farm and not ignore the world. That seems like the nice balance. I can always come back to my Minecraft farm. I see this. I'm on the stream now. I'm seeing this.
You see nothing. Why is that? I'm trying to take somebody's advice over here and learn how to fill a hole with water.
I'm really confused what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to
Be
make
like
you a
mob
pond.
generator. Oh, that's sweet. I was actually looking at all of the mob spawn eggs. And I was like, what do you mean they have salmon now? Like,
They have salmon?
yeah, they have salmon spawn eggs. I was like, back in my day, you didn't know what fish you were getting. They have tropical fish.
Stone Cold Steve Austin lives the farm life and has 2 cool cats who are Instagram famous. Thank you, Frognado Man, for your daily dose of fact. Random fact of the day.
I like that, actually.
Right? I wish... Now I wish I was Stone Cold Steve Austin. I feel like it's... He said, welcome, welcome. Oh, okay, H. Act like you weren't about to get them cows. Look, they look scrumdiddlyocious sitting in there. Helpless.
What do the armadillos do? Do you know?
I don't. I just...
Oh.
What, did you just hit one?
No. They just randomly go into, like, a ball.
Oh.
Like, I started flying, and they all just went into a ball.
You scared them.
Interesting.
This is... I hope this works. This is what I was told to do. Okay?
I'll leave you to the aquatic farm.
Whoa.
I'm gonna stick to what I know.
That's very satisfying. Ad break in progress. Do a diagonal? It's faster? I guess I'm already there though. So, no worries. Thanks for the tip though. The pro tip. Okay, I think I've got everything filled.
Wait, can they hear us on an ad break?
They can hear us on an ad break. Whoever is just around the river bend. Yes, sing it. Whoever is subscribed does not get the ad break. Whoever is
cool.
not subscribed does get the ad break. Okay, now I just need to go through and break this top layer. Allegedly. And the whole thing should be full. Thank you, honey.
How's your dog doing?
She ran outside, so I hope she's doing better. I think she was
The
chewing,
classic barf and run.
right? She was chewing on a bone, and I think she just like ate more than what she should have.
That's understandable. Yeah, it happens to all of us.
Sometimes I wish I would just barf after eating way too much. Classic barf and run, says Colonel Girl. Posture check. Oh shit. My wife was in the room for this posture check. You're welcome. Get to see it firsthand. Align thy back.
I know they can't see me. I'm not sure if there's a way or if anybody wants to see me, but I also just straightened up my back. So I was looking like a question mark for a bit.
Looking like a question mark. Wait, where'd that cow go? Look, we're not going to talk about it. What? No way that's the same cow. It worked. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Sleeping Beluga. All right.
Wait, Sleeping Beluga. I go to school with that guy.
What?
That's awesome.
Question for Eric. Any particular media you found helpful while processing HD stuff? And that comes from Sleeping Beluga.
Particular media. I think in media, I don't know if you mean like social media, but for me, like running was my big thing and how I would kind of process things. I don't know, like I guess other sports do it as well, but just kind of like the methodical nature of running can be very like soothing, meditative. So I kind of started running just to, you know, let off steam in a difficult patch of high school. I just liked it, and I just kept doing it. And I really liked it, and I moved to Calgary, and I was like, oh, what do you mean people run in mountains and they're called ultra marathons? That sounds really cool. And I was like, yeah, I'll get into that stuff.
That's wild.
It's nice because it's like, it's not a destructive way to deal with all of the, like the stress, like whether it's HD or even like school or just whatever else, like stress in life comes in many ways, but it's just something that's like always there. And I never like went into running thinking that I needed a coping mechanism. I think it just worked out that it can be very therapeutic. I'd say running's probably my biggest one. There's just a lot of different aspects to it that I like. I know some people I've talked to, they like to knit, and like they just
sounds nice.
Yeah.
Oh, we just got MB_Riley B saying hi from your brother Eric. I can't listen until I'm out of class.
Haha. Silly mechanical engineer. Still in classes. That's really cool. I'd say, yeah, running's my biggest media. Other medias I found really helpful were just talking to people around me about things. Again, like for HD in particular, but I think it also goes to say for any other types of stress you're feeling in life. Once you feel like you can have that support structure around you, it just, I don't know, it's like the infinite money hack that never stops giving money. Like it's just yeah, it makes everything so much easier. And even if you, like I said before, like you're not using those supports in that time, knowing that they're there takes a lot of the weight off. It makes you a lot more confident in your ability to deal with these things. So yeah, thanks for the question. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well.
Eric says, silly mechanical engineer, still in classes. Somebody in chat saying that.
Poor guy.
No, that I like that answer to the media question, because my brain definitely went like, oh, like social media, or like articles, or so hearing that in like a different perspective, that was good.
Yeah, actually, what you said on articles is interesting because I think that was actually a big thing that helped. I guess I have a lot of thoughts. Okay, so when you don't know something, that's always the scariest part,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
especially when it's something that's like chronic in your life, chronic being like over a long period of time, it can be really difficult if you're not, I guess, being like proactive and turning towards it. At least that's what I found when I started to turn my attention towards HD and learn more about it, learn about the disease, about the communities that can support me and that I can kind of grow with. Um, when you start to face it, it becomes a bit easier. So I met a girl who was in nursing, and her family was affected by HD, but she was telling me like she was reading the research papers, like she was getting that. In engineering we call it like primary data, like straight from the source. Um, and she's telling me all this stuff that I had no idea about because all of my education about it was just from like brochures or like different talks at conferences. And before that, it was in like a 1 hour conversation I had with my parents the day they told me and my brother about HD. And it wasn't like that information was inaccessible or just not there. I just never thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, once you start to learn more about it, you realize that it's really, I wouldn't say easy, it's simple. Like it's simple to
Mm-hmm.
just look something up and find a good source like HDYO, or if you're like HD Reach in the US. I'm not sure about other countries, but most countries I know across the globe kind of have their equivalents. So like find a good credible source.
I think that sort of goes
And
back to what you were saying earlier about taking the power away from it
yeah,
by understand, and you can. I think you can absolutely do that by developing a better understanding.
yeah, I've talked
Uh,
to a lot of people who um, like have tested, and they like you can get involved in different clinical trials and research studies, but for me right now, because I'm untested, there aren't really a lot of opportunities for things like that. So I've talked to people who have tested, and they're like, I'm glad I got tested because it let me kind of give back in some way.
mm.
And that's their way of taking the power away from HD.
As a family, what do you do to prepare for the future?
Yeah, so like my dad's still working. Um, he works at a lumber yard, and he has a commute to work, and um, I think it's just being aware of things. Like I never, nobody in our family wants to like add stress onto things by saying like I'm just constantly nagging him like, hey, how you feeling? How you feeling? How you feeling?
Mm-hmm.
But every now and then I'll like, hey, like how's it going? Um, just like a genuine check-in. Like I'm not looking for any one answer. I genuinely just want to know how he's doing, and if there is anything that we can do to try and make life easier, um, we'll do that. Like there's um, I don't know, like some of the things when people are starting to progress through HD can be like difficulty in swallowing um, like heavy foods and stuff. So it's like, okay, well, or like I know with my grandma, she doesn't like to have like cold foods or like really hot foods. Like she just has very sensitive teeth from HD. Um, so when we go to a restaurant, it's like, okay, well, just make sure the water doesn't have ice, and like just try to be an advocate for them in those ways, because it can be kind of uncomfortable for that person to just is like, it sounds silly saying it out loud, but like it is really uncomfortable to just say like, hey, I'm sorry, can I actually get it with no ice because I can't really drink it otherwise. And I don't know, it's just things like that. I think our family's kind of in the stage of like, how can we prepare for the future while still enjoying the present? So like when I'm at HD events, um, you know, I go to some of the ones on like upcoming research and what it's like to be a caregiver for your family member, and like how can you try and like make their experience a bit more. Sorry, I'm just watching what you're building. I'm very interested.
Oh, no, you're
I
fine.
like it. I like it. Yeah, so it's just like talking to the people who have or have had family members in late stages of HD, and like, okay, well, what are the things you wish you knew beforehand, and just trying to be
Do
a
it
bit
better than
more,
before.
yeah, be a bit more proactive in those ways.
I like that.
Yeah, something I think about a lot too is like, um, I am very fortunate that my dad's in like really good health right now. So it's like, how can we make better memories with the time we have? And it's funny because I say these things, I'm like, that's not specific to HD, but I think um, the weird thing about HD maybe is it makes you really aware of time.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
like I've talked to my friends about HD stuff, and they're just like, oh, like I guess like for me, because I'm at risk, so sometimes I get in my head and I'm like, okay, well, theoretically I have a 50% chance that I'm positive, and if the average age of onset is 35, then in theory I have until I'm 35. And like I know that this is really not the case,
Right.
but I can like, it was one of the ways I coped for a really long time was, how can I like take this narrative and just try to make it like flip the script and make it more empowering. So it's like, okay, well, if I have until 35, like I shouldn't delay anything. Like I should be, you know, tell the people you love that you love them, and go do experiences that maybe you would just tell yourself like, no, I'll do that next year. Like I'll do that later. But um, these are like really kind of universal things that people can be doing anyways and might help anybody. But um, it's just kind of like I don't know how to say it, like the weird part about HD, and that I feel like it's kind of helped me um, be more aware of the time that I have and try and do more with it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure it does. I mean, you're right that it's not only like an HD concept, but I'm sorry, I cannot get over how organized this this is.
I'm still trying to figure out what to put in the last three things, because I don't know what the good animals are in Minecraft.
Mm.
So if anybody
Real,
in the chat has questions or
real quick,
has ideas,
the
yeah.
Lep, thank you for the follow. Riley, thank you for the follow, and Brookstar, thank you for the follow.
Aw. Oh, hi Brookstar. I'm using your Minecraft account right now. Thank you.
I have it on my lava.
Does anybody have ideas for the farm?
Yeah, does anybody have any ideas for what Eric can put in these last 3 containers?
Or just other parts of the farm to build? I've never built a farm before, so.
Ooh.
I learned there's a bucket of salmon. I'm now a murderer because I placed the
What?
bucket of salmon, and the salmon has nowhere to go.
We have a
I don't
whole.
know.
We have a whole pond.
I'll put the salmon in the pond now. Wow, we have all different kinds of. This is fun. Can we mix fish?
I don't know, but we about to find out.
Like, are there any bad fish that we
What
don't
in the-
want? What's an exotic do? They come in different colors? Oh my gosh. I don't want to talk about it. The exoticals are killing all the other fish.
What?
Yeah. I have to go exterminate the exoticals. This is very sad.
What did you do?
I'll fix it.
All the fish are dead.
Yeah. Oh no, they're in the ocean.
Oh, they're
The
just
exoticals are
they're
still
just
bullying them.
they're just.
My friendship.
Look, chat. I just want you to know it's not me this time. H's dream, yo. That's not a pond. Look at all these dead fish. I did leave the hole in the pond. I thought they would want to stick around. Look, these do. I think that axolotls scared them out of the pond area. Can I fence the fish in down here?
I was just gonna say I'm gonna put fences up. I don't know what benefit farming fish will be, but it's pretty common practice around the world.
Now
so.
I feel like they're in a prison cell, but they can see the ocean, which makes them really upset because.
No, it makes them happy. It's wellness. This is like how my parents gave my dog my room when I moved out. So now I no longer technically have a room. It's Gus's room. Because they're like, he's happier with a full room to himself.
Like the aquarium at Coney
Whatever
Island.
he wants.
Whoa, you built that really fast.
It's like the wiring from when I was 9 years old.
Where'd I get these eggs? Oh my! Oh no, is that chicken gonna drown? Oh my!
They float. I hope.
Can someone get rid of that little bone? I feel like they can sense their death. Yep, let me go by and pick these up.
Okay, 3 fish types.
Wait, what?
I'm curious, what do other people usually build when you have them on? Because I just realized it's really funny that me, engineering boy that grew up in Manitoba, starts making like a large-scale farm to feed the
It's in
village.
my
It's just
blood.
like, oh yes, this is exactly what I've been trading for.
This is what we've been missing. Somebody
build
built
an
a
ammonia plant
somebody built a
next.
coffee shop. Ammonia plant. Another question for Eric from Sleeping Beluga. Has anything ever surprised you with a connection between chemical engineering and HD, either in mentality or content, or even somewhere in between?
Ooh, that is interesting. A little bit. Like, I started going to a lot more of the technical talks, and they're talking about small particle physics and how like biocompatibility works, and I'm like, okay, I kind of understand these principles just because it's like basic thermodynamics and reaction kinetics. Um, there was a big part of me for a while that thought I would go from an undergrad in chemical engineering and move more into like or biomedical engineering, and go more in the medical field, so then I could work in HD, uh, adjacent fields maybe, but that's not the path right now. Maybe one day, but um, I'd say there were other, like, maybe not in the content as much, but in like the skills you learn. So like stress management is just always something that um, is going to be around in life. I think like I'm very involved and I try to support a lot of clubs and I volunteer a lot on campus. And those like the organizational skills or just like how do you think of it like needs in a community and work to solve them, like those were things that I kind of learned simultaneously, like at the same time, um, through school, but also through HD. Um, I think I could probably write a short book about running and school and how I think the skills I learned there helped. But in terms of HD, I think it's mostly like the universal skills, if that makes any sense, like communication and problem solving and all the other big ones that people tell you to put on your resume.
Yeah, no, it does make sense. They said it does. Thank you. Speaking of school, a lot of youth growing up with HD are unsure about next steps after high school. What did that look like for you? I know you went to
Um,
college away from home. Was that difficult?
it was and still is really difficult. So I went into engineering because I grew up in a small town and I was really good at math and science. And when I told my physics teacher I wanted to be an electrician, he was like, "Well, you could probably do a bit more with that, like, you know." um, so he's like, "Yeah, like look at this engineering thing," and I was like, "Okay, that looks pretty cool." Uh, so that's kind of how I got into it. Um, I wish I had more support or like more structure on how to think about that because I'm at the end of my degree right now, and don't get me wrong, I've loved engineering, but there's so many other, I guess, uh, fields or just like other things that I've been really curious about and want to explore a bit more. Uh, so, in terms of school away from home, it's been really hard. I was actually telling my girlfriend it was funny how I was. Sorry to interrupt the story. We got coordinate the farm. What do you put in where?
That tadpole just jumped in there, but I really don't want a tadpole in there. So,
Are there frogs in Minecraft?
there's tadpoles. I don't know
Okay,
what they
cool.
turn into.
Okay, I'm putting some cod. Um, kind of just like one bucket for each. Anyways, school away from home was really hard. I was telling my girlfriend when I was in Costa Rica, um, it was like a scene from a movie because I was literally sitting on the beach, Mai Tai in my hand, watching the waves. And I was like reflecting on the last 5 years of my degree. I'm like, wow, I did everything I wanted. Like, you know, if I found the list of goals I made in first year, I did all of them and more, and I'm very proud of myself. But um, I was also thinking about all the things that I gave up in that time, and time with my family, friends back home. Um, I think I'm still very happy that I went to university. I got to learn more about the world and build skills that I can use to help people. Um, but yeah, it was hard. I'm lucky enough, like to go home. It's a, on a good day, it's like $150 flight Canadian. So for any Americans, it's like 100 US to go visit home. So I have gotten to visit home a lot. My family's really like we call fairly often, but it's hard. It just adds like that extra level. You have to be more intentional with building your relationships because they're not right in front of you.
Definitely.
Honestly, it took a long time for me to get used to that. Um, Sometimes it's as simple as I have a calendar notification and it says once a month go like text your grandparents if you haven't yet. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I might have to take that advice about the calendar notification.
Yeah, I mean, I felt really bad, like guilty at first when I started doing things like that, like just have these little reminders, or I felt like I was kind of taking the genuineness out of it. And then I just realized like it doesn't really matter how you do it, just that you are doing it in some way. I think especially with HD, that moving away from home part can be I don't want to say like more tough, but like complex.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I always feel like now I'm going to go do a master's for 2 more years, and I'm moving further away from home. So it's like, okay, well, I'm glad I get to do these things. I'm glad I get to kind of expand my knowledge and all that stuff, but I'm also not able to be around my family as much, and there's always trade-offs with it. Like, well, like my dad's in good health right now, and I don't know, like regardless of HD, but just I think HD kind of adds that little bit of urgency with it that wouldn't be front of my mind necessarily, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, but I like the way you look at it. I mean, you know, because it sort of is front of your mind due to HD. I mean, this is gonna sound extremely cliche, but like, those relationships are important to maintain regardless, and I'm very glad that you don't feel the guilt behind like having it on on a calendar reminder. Because I mean, there are plenty of people that don't have those connections that they probably do feel a little guilty that they're not maintaining those relationships. And hey, if it's done through a calendar reminder and you have a conversation with somebody that you care about because of it, kudos.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you right
Just
now.
nodding. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. I'm making my house a home.
How do you get under there?
You can. You can still get under it.
Oh.
It's one of those the mystery musket tools that I've picked up from the years.
Do the cows have a way to graze? Says the lep. No, they're trapped.
They have green grass. I didn't think about that.
I did fence everything in, so.
Yes, okay, so the cows have a grazing schedule now. They just don't let them eat the fish.
Will the cows eat the
What
fish?
are you tortoise? I don't think they will. You just have to be, you always have to be aware of it.
This farm is nice. Did you put the tree in the corner?
I put a bunch of trees. I was curious what they looked like and what they did.
This one's sick.
So we have cherry trees. I kind of like the cherry blossom look.
Yeah. Like the leaves falling. Hey, we got more Canadians in the chat. Hello, hello. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, Canada. Yep. Spot on. Has your family been able to support you living further away?
Yeah, I think it's over the years we've gotten a lot better at it. Like I've gotten a lot better at kind of like reaching out and letting them know, like, hey guys, I miss you so much. Can we have a call? Um, and like it was really tricky at start. Like I remember the first kind of month I moved away to Calgary. Probably I sent them like a text a week, and I was just like, "Hey guys, I'm alive." Um, and yeah, now like I wish I could call them for an hour every day. So I think it's interesting how the longer I've lived away from home, the more I miss it. Because some other people I go to school with have kind of like the opposite, where it gets easier to be away.
Yeah. So do y'all do those? Do you do family group calls? I don't know.
Yeah, we did one last night.
Hey.
So yeah, kind of like whenever everybody's free. I wish I had more of like a manual on how to do, like how to live away from your family, but I think the more important thing, instead of just making sure you're getting everything right all the time, is having that intention. Like sometimes I do have a busy week and it's finals or I'm traveling or whatever it is, and we can't call as much, or I just have to send a quick text with a couple of pictures explaining what I was doing today, and sometimes that's just what you have capacity for.
That's right.
But just making sure like that intention's there, so you're coming back to it a lot is,
The LEP says intention makes a huge difference.
yeah. I'm learning so much about Minecraft. There's respawn anchors, which I thought was your bed.
I thought that was too. Now I don't know. Oh my. Have you... Sleeping Beluga says, have you ever looked at modern Minecraft redstone builds? People have been building some rather impressive computers lately.
Oh boy. Listen, I went into chemical engineering because I really didn't like the electrical engineering course in first year. I think that's because I was really bad at building redstone in Minecraft, and I was never the redstone guy. I was like, yeah, I'll build a house, I'll do all the other stuff. I thought about doing redstone stuff because I know you can do redstone stuff to make farming automated. I got scared. It is a good skill, and if you can do good Minecraft redstone builds, and you put that thing on a resume, I'd hire you. You can figure that stuff out. You can definitely figure out an Excel spreadsheet.
I have no clue what Minecraft redstone builds are.
What? You haven't seen like mob spawners? And I haven't played Minecraft in forever, but
I have
You didn't watch the
the
Minecraft
past
movie,
month.
dude?
I've no, the
I
past
got Redstone in the Minecraft movie.
the past month I've played more Minecraft than I ever have in my life.
Wow. I'm trying to remember like the things that I like to build when I did play Minecraft a lot. And then I see things like the composter and I just gotta figure out how this thing works, because that seems like the last step in making my farm sustainable.
The composter, huh?
I have no idea how this works.
I'm building a tunnel under the city.
Oh, secret tunnels! Is that what you're doing here? Why there's a big hole?
Yep. I hope I'm connecting it. Oh my. That's not what I wanted. Let's close that off real quick. Eric, your Minecraft knowledge or lack of is hurting me, says Brookstar.
Oh. That may be true, however, I don't die to zombies on night 1, Brookstar. And I've watched you do that.
Sheesh.
Teehee.
Build Baby Yoda, says my sister. I got you. It's gonna be the ugliest Baby Yoda you've ever seen.
I didn't even think about making... Oh. I put a hole in our farm. The fish farm.
The
I'm gonna
fish
make
farm?
art. Yeah. I fixed it.
Yeah,
don't
what's
worry.
a farm without art?
Well, it's the next step in every good civilization. First you get food. You get abundant energy so that everybody has money. And then you build art and you have culture. Oh, actually, that's what I should do. I should be building the villagers an oil refinery.
Yeah.
Sorry
dare
to the
you care
villagers,
about
I've
art.
really been sleeping.
Where is all this water coming from?
Does anybody have recommendations for things I should build? Because I'm kind of at a loss. I already got the dream farm. Or any questions about HD? I mean, that's kind of like...
That's why we're here. What advice do you have for others trying to get connected to resources and supports but scared to take the first step?
That first step is honestly the hardest part. It's kind of like jumping in a cold lake. Like, your friends are all going swimming. You can see like, oh, look at them, they're having fun, but you don't want to get wet and cold. And some part of it is just holding your breath and going for it, whether it's like, you know, talking to a friend or your partner or parents about HD. There's a lot of things you can do to, I guess, like reduce the barriers on it, make it a bit easier to do that. I know for me, like when I moved to Calgary, I really struggled with feeling connected in the community. I didn't realize like how important like having that close community, those social supports around me was when I was in Manitoba. I just took it for granted. Live in a small town, and everybody's gonna know you. They're gonna care about you. Um, so yeah, I spent a long time just simple things like getting a friend or like getting coffee with a friend or talking to new people in your classes, like just seeing who you connect with. When you have those people, like the people that you can be like so close with, it's like a sibling or the people you call best friends, like getting to tell those people. I feel like that was really big for me. Was like one of the first people I told in Calgary about HD was my girlfriend. And 6 months after, so it took me 6 months to tell her about it. 6 months after that, I think I told another dozen people.
Jeez.
Like it was just kind of. I don't think everybody's like
You
that.
spilled
but
the
at least
beans.
for
You really
me,
spilled the beans.
yeah, I was just like, oh, that was like, it was nice. It was, sorry, I saw there's cocoa beans, and now I want to make a cocoa farm. They can get rich off of chocolate, just like Costa Ricans. But yeah, like once you start, it's just like you keep that ball rolling. I think there's also other smaller things if you don't want to like bring it like IRL into your real life. Like HDYO has Instagram, pretty much all like we talked about before, like HD Reach in the US. HDYO is more international. For me, it was the Huntington Society of Canada. I honestly, I didn't even want to have them on my Instagram feed because I didn't want people to see it if they were like some weird reason going through my followers. I just subscribed to the email list. And it was just like a little vote on the type of person I want to become. Like I wanted to be the person that can talk about these things really freely. And then like slowly, I don't know, maybe you follow the Instagram account, maybe you message the Instagram account and it's still like, you know, fairly anonymous. And a lot of people I know never kind of bring it into their normal life, or like, I don't want to say normal life, but like into the public space is what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
And that's totally fine because everybody moves at their own pace. And actually saying pace isn't like the best analogy because, oh my gosh, the bees are massive. I'm sorry. How do I farm the bees? Oh, they like my cherry trees. I should plant more cherry trees. Yeah, so it's like you can find a lot of things to do to reduce that energy. You also don't have to make your journey look any one way. Like, it's a really personal thing. I don't know if that fully answered the question, but
Yeah, we got lots of questions in chat actually, so I'm gonna ask you some more from there. First one should be pretty quick. Erik, you gonna join Game Over HD?
I'd love to. Yeah,
Hey,
this is fun.
let's go.
My girlfriend's been bugging me to do Minecraft for like 6 months. So I mean, this has been really simple and easy.
There we go.
Yeah,
you heard it. You heard it here. No takesy backsies. All right. Next question is: any advice for supporting a friend who's diagnosed with HD?
Ooh. I'm still at risk, so I can only really speculate. So I won't speak a lot to it, just because there are other people who probably can answer these a lot better. HD Reach has a lot of other Twitch streams that you can listen to, and they have people with all different types of stories.
Look at that plug.
That was my audition for Game Over.
You're hired.
I'd say just holding space for them is a big thing. You don't want to push them too much, make anybody uncomfortable, but holding space, just like, hey, I'm here if you need, no pressure, because you also don't want to be a burden, right? Like if you say to somebody, like, hey, how are you doing? How's your dad? How's HD? Then like that adds a little bit of stress to them. So usually when I have conversations like that, I just try to approach it a bit more gently, like, hey, how you doing? Like, you know, I'm here if you need to talk. I don't want to put any pressure on you, but I can only imagine that's a really hard thing. And, you know, I love you. I'm here for you if you want to talk about it. It's kind of a bit about how I do it, but I think that's all I really can say to that without just straight up talking out of my butt. So I think to add on to that really quick, they'll probably let you know, kind of like their comfort level with things. At least, with me, that's usually how it goes. Like when I meet somebody new, sometimes I get a connection right away, and I'm like, just won't stop talking about things. Other people, you know, I don't click with as much, and even if they are like super curious about it, I'm just a boy. Like I only want to talk about so much. So I think some of that responsibility kind of falls onto your friend to let you know, kind of like what they need, how you can support them, but just hold space. Don't try to add extra pressure.
I like that.
Yeah.
We've got, what do you think are the most important ways to support a partner affected by HD? And that just says affected.
I think that holding space is really important. With a partner, I mean, also with a friend, if you're really close with the friend, it all kind of depends. But with a partner, I think you have a different level of intimacy. Like that's the person ideally you want to build a life with, and you want to be able to talk about these things with them. So holding space is really important. Being curious and open about things is also really important. Like, you know, that can look like many ways. You can ask questions about the types of like initiatives they're getting into with HD. You can like try to help them find support if that's something that they need in their life. I think it looks different for everybody. Some of the couples like in the HD community I've really admired. If you go to an HD event, like the ways they interact and like they engage with the content and like honestly the advice they're able to give, you wouldn't know which one of them came from an HD family. Like that's how steeped they are in it. It's just really like understanding that it's not just something that can go away. It's not like your typical, I don't know, like if it's not transient, it's always there. So just learning how, I guess how to live in that environment is really important. But I don't know. H, do you have any other advice on that one? Because I know you.
Yeah. I think one thing that my wife did a really good job of is just not only providing me with that space that you were talking about earlier, but allowing me to confront HD with my own time. So, like we talked about HD mostly on my terms. And there were probably instances or times where she wanted to talk about HD and maybe didn't, just for the sake of like me not having to talk about HD. But I also really appreciate being able to being able to go at my pace with it and have those conversations when I was ready to have those conversations. And we're, for a long time, we didn't talk a whole lot about HD, and now it's a much more casual conversation, which I'm thankful for. But that took a long time, and it took a lot of patience on her part, to be honest. Because
That's fair. I think to add to that a bit, you have to ask your partner like what they want, because as you're saying that, I'm like, oh, like I think for me, like I've worked really hard to get to the point where like I want to, like, a stranger on the subway to be able to ask me about HD, and like I'm okay with it. And so for me, like I think with my relationship and like other friendships in my life, I don't know, like I almost would like more people to ask about it. Like I want to be an advocate for the community, and I want to help educate other people about things, not just because it's like something that affects me, but because it's like it's an important cause that I care about.
Right.
So like, yeah, for me, like if everybody around me just waited till I brought it up to talk about it, like I don't think I would ever talk about it, because it's not really like I guess like something front of mind like that all the time. Like I've just been kind of normalized to it, like especially being involved with HDYO helped a lot with that. Like
Oh, I bet it did.
yeah, so like I feel like I'm at the point where, I mean, like it also depends on the day. There are certainly days I don't want to talk or think about it, but yeah, like asking your partner, just they're probably going to be able to set boundaries a lot easier.
For sure. I think that's probably the more beneficial conversation to have, is the boundary conversation.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, what are you comfortable with? What aren't you comfortable with? What can we talk about? What may be a sore spot for you? What kind of, like, can I play 20 questions with you when it comes to HD, or is this something that like is gonna take some more time?
Yeah, I think it's super healthy to like to be able to have that level of open communication. I know sometimes it feels like I'm just waiting in terms of HD. Like I'm involved with HDYO and I volunteer a lot. Like it's a very important part of my life, but I never really think about it actively in that way, if that makes sense. So if somebody was to ask me those questions, like it kind of nice for me, because I'm sorry, I'm watching you.
Huh?
You're a menace. You're gonna burn the village. Oh boy.
I had to do it.
But yeah, like sometimes those questions, like whether it's my partner asking them, or I've honestly had like people who I meet randomly, like I like to run. I like to run a lot, long distances. Sometimes in those longer races, you make friends, and you share every single intimate detail of your life, and you run together for like 12 hours, and it's great. I've had people in races like that ask me questions about HD that I hadn't even thought about before. And I was like, oh wow, this is like really interesting. Now I'm almost like expanding my own I don't know if understanding's the right word, but just like I'm putting more tools in my tool belt because um, I think it's easy to get comfortable in things, and having those outsiders ask questions. I think at least for me, it helps kind of spur more growth, if that makes sense.
No,
Like,
absolutely, absolutely does. I would, I would definitely say that I agree with you now. Um, oh, I've made an absolute mess of this. But for me, it took what felt like forever to even get to the point where I could talk about HD. But now that I am at that point of being more open about it and talking about it and sharing my story, I definitely feel the same way of if people were to ask me questions, it would make me answer things that I wouldn't have to answer otherwise.
yeah,
But before being comfortable talking about it, that would have been my biggest nightmare.
yeah. So it's like understanding where like your friend or partner is in their journey, and like, yeah, just being supportive and not really, don't push.
That's
It's
such a
really
that's so
complicated.
yeah. I was about to say, I was like, that is so tough because I feel like as a friend or a partner, that's what you want to do, not necessarily push, but like you.
Oh yeah, like I can totally like see the perspective of a partner saying like, yeah, but like, I don't know, we should talk about family planning. Like, do you want kids or not? And I think, yeah, holding that space, not wanting to push, but I don't have any I guess like advice on that. Like, some people just want to. Sorry, there's an ad on my screen, so I'm not sure if there's an ad for everybody
Oh, there
else.
probably is. We'll pause just for a
I might
second for
just,
the ad.
yeah, I'll just delay. Stall. To the subscribers, shout out for being real ones. What's your favorite thing about Minecraft that I should check out? Because I feel very new to the game. Currently, I've made a room where I'm going to put all of the mobs that I don't know what they look like, so I can learn about them. So I'm playing Minecraft
Ooh.
Biologist.
I'm playing.
You're playing the role of the the legend that the villagers will tell their kids in 10 years when they vanquish you.
Yes, exactly. What is happening?
There's dolphins? Okay, ad is done. I'm not sure if everybody had an ad, but just to be safe, we paused the conversation. I think it's super complex when you bring in other people, whether it's like partners or siblings, because there isn't really like one right way to do it. Everybody's
not.
different. All these dolphins are real cute. Kind of loud, but cute. So, like, I wish I had more proper advice or like some rule book. I think you just gotta know, that person, and you gotta be comfortable asking them what they're comfortable with. And it takes courage for both of you to be able to for you, the partner, or the other person to be able to ask that, but also for that person to be able to talk about it, and let you know what they need.
Well said. Well said.
Turtles are so big. Can you ride them?
How did you spawn a turtle?
The turtle eggs.
How did you, but where did you put the turtle eggs? Just in the water here?
Like this.
That's the dolphin. Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
The most dramatic ad break timing since early American Idol. Love
Yeah,
that.
we know how to keep it spicy.
I feel like I would be Randy.
What's a piglin?
A piglin?
Or a husk?
Oh no. It's all falling apart.
Endermite? I feel like that's like silverfish. I don't want that. Do you want to come play biology with me?
I do. Yeah, I had to. What is this chicken doing?
Water slide.
I made an accidental waterfall.
So
Ooh,
here's
what did
the-
you build over here?
So you can come in and then use buttons to get out. So they can't get out.
Hey, Lep, anytime. They said, thank you both for taking the time to share your experiences and perspectives. Anytime.
All of these things aren't spawning in here. I wonder if it's because they're all like from the nether.
No, they should, right? We just
Maybe there's
appreciate you
enough
being here
space.
and being willing to listen. Oh,
Oh my gosh, you can't take this guy anywhere.
wait, what is this? And
Yes,
being willing
thank
to
you,
listen
Lep.
to us.
Thank you for your questions and good commentary.
Riley says, "Love you both. Can't wait to see you soon, Eric." Love you,
See
Riley.
you soon. Love you. Thanks for coming on.
How do we get things to spawn in here? Hey,
I think we have to make a nether
Oh.
portal.
I keep breaking things. Can we build another portal in there?
What's crying obsidian?
Really, can I sneak on the plane with you?
I'll be back in June to the Manitoba HD people. So I hope I can see you then. Most of June. Oh, I'm glad I remembered how to... Oh, that was quick.
What kind of wall is this? Or what kind of door is this?
You can just put anything solid.
Iron bars. That's not. what I
Anybody
was
have
expecting.
advice on how to spawn a stray?
Anybody have advice on how to play Minecraft? What?
Or a husk? Because I just went to the nether and they still aren't spawning. We're gonna get a convoy of Manitoba people coming to Calgary. This is exciting.
Oh.
Oh, come into the Nether. I'm spawning more things.
Van leaves bright and early June 1st. You can split the drive with me and the parents.
Oh, the Nether has blue fire? I hope people find this as entertaining as I do.
Interesting.
There's so much going on here. Back in my day, there wasn't even a Nether. It was this little box you had to make on the iPhone edition of it. And it just spawned a bunch of other things around you, and it made a big box, and you had to kill everything. And you got to loot. Hoglins are cool. Can you tame it?
I don't know. How do you tame stuff?
I have played Minecraft, but it's been 5 years.
Hey, Ancestor580. Thank you for the follow.
So I'm trying to learn what a breeze is. I'm now farming armadillos, which is exciting.
What is this stuff? Oh, why did it break like glass?
Oh, glowstone. See, I know that one. Oh. You gotta come check this out. It's a sniffer.
What the? Is that what it was doing? Was? Are you spawning these?
Yeah. I'm trying to spawn other stuff, but I can't figure out. Oh no! They
Where
killed
the-
the
what?
hoglin.
They just threw it off the side. Why is everybody snorting?
Where are you guys? What are you doing, this?
Oh! Just knocked them all
This is
off.
the ultimate. I brought you into this world. I can take you out.
Ooh, let's get one more question going. We're almost at our time. What are your plans for the future?
That's a broad question. I'd say
It is.
life-wise, the plan is I'm moving to Montreal in August to do a master's degree in bioresource engineering. Because I've always wanted to go more on the environmental side of chemical engineering, and I ended up getting a pretty good scholarship, so it was hard to say no. But I'm in Montreal for the next 2 years. Not sure what after that. Hopefully, come back to Calgary. In terms of other personal things for HD, continue to. Sorry, I'm just getting distracted by the Nether. I'm gonna stop moving so I can focus. I am collecting provinces like Pokemon cards, yeah. Hopefully collecting languages too, because visiting Juan Carlos in Costa Rica and hardly knowing any Spanish was humbling, to say the least. But you make do. In terms of HD things, right now, I've just been kind of doing HDYO stuff and fundraising every year. So, like I was talking about with running before, and it's just kind of been a tradition for me every year. Pick a new challenge, yeah, and then prove to yourself that you can actually do it. I think it's a great way to build confidence in yourself, and it has definitely helped me. I guess deal with HD, deal with school as well, because I'm like, if I can run 100 kilometers, like this exam season's got nothing on me, or like if I can run a marathon, I can tell my girlfriend about HD. Like, what am I talking about? This is silly. Um, so I'd say that's a pretty good way for anybody looking to get involved with HD stuff, and like kind of like we were talking about before, take that first step. That was a big thing for me, is um, building that confidence in other areas of your life, so you can say like, oh, I'm a pro at this, or like I'm really good at that. uh,
Or
it seems
it
kind of
sounds like
silly to me now that
overcoming like other difficult things to prove to yourself that you can.
yeah, yeah, that's a really, really big one. It doesn't have to be like run an ultra marathon. Like, um, a lot of people I talk to, they say like the hardest thing they do every day is they take a cold shower. Like they just turn it cold for 15 seconds, and it does the same thing for them. Uh, which is like, I could talk for another day about how cool it is, like how the brain works when you're challenging yourself to do hard things. But anyways, to get back to the point, yeah, so just gonna continue um, involvement with H2IO. I'd like to get more involved with the Canadian Huntington's Association, um, beyond just not just, but beyond what I've been doing currently. Um, that's kind of it. I think it's difficult to say because I'm still only 22. Um, if you ask me in 5 years, I might have a whole uh, array of different things that I'm into. But for now, it's just that's the gist.
Fair enough.
I found trees here. Did you know there were trees in the Nether?
I broke the nether, brother.
I'm gonna come find you.
Yes, please, if you've not taken the time yet tonight, or if you are curious to know more about Huntington's disease and find resources, please check out hdreach.org. That is a great place to get you started. Granola Girl said, Eric, you can't find him. This is like Stranger Things.
Yeah. I learned that the red trees have like glowing blobs on them, which is very exciting. I think they're mushrooms.
We're gonna have to play some more Minecraft. I see a Minecraft server in the HD Reach feature. All right, everybody. Love these May sharing / gaming sessions. Yeah, I think I think the aim is to probably incorporate this into the live streams going forward in some way. It's been very well received from everyone, not only the HD community, but everyone out there that we're trying to target and spread awareness to. So this seems like something that will, could have said it better myself. It will be continued. But that wraps up tonight with Erik. Erik, thank you so much again for being on here and being willing to share your story. Everybody in the chat, please, I just want you to recognize that this is something that is that can be tough to do. You are willingly putting yourself into a vulnerable position to advocate for something that is personal and impactful to you. And Erik, I recognize that, and I'm extremely grateful for you being on here tonight.
Thank you.
And thank you for everyone else who has participated in these story times. It's been a great series, and I hope that we continue it in some way. We're here to help spread awareness for Huntington's disease, help reach people who may be impacted, who may not be impacted, and are curious to know more. People, like I said before, people who are impacted and maybe don't have a voice for themselves or don't know where to get started. Video games could be something that's more casual and easier to communicate with people over a screen, or webcam or behind a microphone or through a keyboard. So we're just helping provide another avenue for people to communicate and build community. So, with that being said, that wraps up the May series for me for Huntington's Disease Awareness Month. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. We've had a lot of laughs and a lot of love along the way, so it's great to see everybody give this much support. It will be back to Drake, I believe, for the next one or the last one. I could be wrong on that, but keep your eye out on our socials for more information around that. I love you all. Eric, do you have any last statements?
I thought more about the next steps part. I want to get a lot more involved with learning about like research in HD and the higher level advocacy beyond just like my circle, but I know there's a lot of work right now in the US with trying to get more legislation in place to make research easier and to make family supports easier. So trying to expand that bubble. That would be my answer for next steps.
Perfect. Love that.
Beyond that, just thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun. I had no idea what to expect. I thought I would be a lot more nervous for it, but this was really, really fun. Thank you everybody for making it really fun and engaging. And it was really nice to see so many people that I really care about, attending.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
All right, and I just got an update. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Drake will be on for what I believe to be the last Storytime HD live stream. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. It'll be Shelby and Rico. Please be there for that. You don't want to miss it. Love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Heart.
Hearts. You guys can't see me, but I'm putting up the heart fingers.
Heart fingers. Love y'all. Thank you so much. Good to see you.